What's up, guys? Mr. Freddy here. Today's going to be another new LEGO set review, and this time it's LEGO Star Wars set, which is called Darth Maul Mech. Set number is 75411, has 143 pieces, and is for ages 6 and up. Let's check out the box first. Here's the front of the box, which showcases the set in action. Here's the top, which showcases the actual size of the Darth Maul minifigure. Here's this side of the box. Here's the bottom. And the other side of the box, which showcases a little bit of the Darth Maul Mech. And here's the back of the box, which showcases, more of the set and, the way to, clip on various items for the mech. And as for the instruction manual, which has a total of 88 pages to build. And there's the advertisement for the other sets for the June 2025 wave. Hopefully I'll get this battle pack set someday. Alright, so now for the minifigure that was included in this set. So here's the minifigure, and it's the one and only Darth Maul. Who was, a very iconic character in the Phantom Menace, and it became even more, iconic in the 08 Clone Wars series, which kind of explains this is the 08 Clone Wars version of the character, and not the one from the Phantom Menace, because he has, the robotic legs, and the printing on him is pretty good by the front torso, the legs, and the back, which, it's nicely detailed. And also, Darth Maul didn't have any pupils, which is kind of odd since he has pupils, but I don't understand because giving him pupils for the new version of the minifigure might look a bit odd. And also, Darth Maul has this specialized piece which is made out of rubber, where it looks rather weird about it, so it's best to put it on him. So yeah, and Darth Maul's accessory is the iconic double-bladed lightsaber, which is very iconic in the Phantom Menace, with in the duel the fates scene, which which is still the most iconic moment in Star Wars, because when the second lightsaber blade is coming out on this side, everyone just go crazy over it. So yeah, so Darth Maul, pretty great minifigure, and this is pretty much the cheap way to get him, since he's previously in the Sith Infiltrator set from last year, which is expensive. So it's best to get this minifigure in a mech set, which is cheaper. So yeah. All right, so now for the the mech itself. So here's the mech, and yeah, this looks pretty good, and I think it's kind of reasonable why why they gave Darth Maul a mech, because he has robotic legs. After he survived the events of the Phantom Menace, where he's presumably dead, but he's not. He's he's been has been staying alive, after get his legs chopped off, so he just needs new legs. So yeah, kind of explains the robotic look on the legs. And also for the articulations, is just like the other Lego Star Wars mechs, which are you can swivel the feet, and you can move them up and down. You can move the legs, and you can also move the the fingers, and lastly you can move the arms. And the details on this mech is pretty good, with like what I already mentioned, the robotic legs with lots of machinery on it. And I think I don't know if these counts as robotic features on the hands of the mech, since Darth Maul didn't have any robotic hands. And also there's a pretty nice printing, which kind of represents the the colors of on Darth Maul's tribal markings, which is pretty nice. And here's the back, which has the clip on for his dual bladed lightsaber, and the this little guy, which is the Sith probe droid, which looks pretty adorable, for a very intimidating looking droid, and you can like somewhat have Darth Maul holding it just out, and bam, now he's holding it, which is pretty nice. Let me put the Sith probe droid back in, and yeah, and the way to like put Darth Maul in the mech is by you have to remove his his double-bladed lightsaber accessory by put it on the back of the mech, and you can open up the cockpit and you can put Darth Maul in it, and bam, now he's ready to battle in his mech. And also the mech's accessory, and just like the Darth Maul minifigure, is the double-bladed lightsaber, which it looks pretty neat. And compare it to like Darth Vader's lightsaber, which is just make it look like a this is the supposed to be the lightsaber hilt, somewhat like that, and which has like just one blade. Well, this is kind of unique since this has the this piece which kind of holds these two lightsaber blades, the big ones. And also the one problem is you can spin it like in a nice 360 degrees, which is kind of disappointing. So it's just best to like have it position it like this. Hang on, there we go. And move that aside. And also you can like do nice poses on the mech, like you like do the pose like just like on the box, which doing this, which is pretty cool. And yeah, the looks on the the mech is really nice with with lots of dark colors with a little bit of red, since the main color of Darth Maul is red and black. Well, the main colors on the character is red and black. And yeah, and also the on the feet of the mech is these little these pointy pieces which didn't have anything to cover them, which it's supposed to be like a little bit have a somewhat spiky look. And also the mech has these uh these little sharp pieces which make them the feet, which kind of just like the Darth Maul's robotic legs and feet. So yeah, and also these little pyramid pieces, which always spiky, since Darth Maul is supposed to be like a very edgy character, which the early Clone Wars kind of explore it as like very edgy but still serious character. So yeah, and also there's like there's a little bit of yellow like right there, which should have been better if it's like neither black or somewhat light gray. But I'm okay with just yellow on this piece. So yeah. So now for the the comparison on the other mechs, and how different they are by size and appearance. All right, here are all the mechs lined up, and yeah, Boba Fett's mech is a bit still tall because of the the rocket on his the jetpack. Well, Luke's mech is a bit taller because of the wings, and Darth Maul, yeah, he's his mech is in the same height as the Stormtrooper and Darth Vader, since they didn't have anything that that make them somewhat tall, since Boba Fett's and Luke's are still the tallest. So yeah, and yeah, you can tell that the later two mechs have more details and personality than the previous three mechs that came out like I think 2023, while the other two came out this one from last year and this one for this year have more details to them and have more, has like one desirable minifigure and is a much, a pretty awesome minifigure. Well, these three are pretty much have more common minifigures like like Darth Vader, Stormtrooper, and Boba Fett, which are the current iterations of the minifigures. So yeah. All right. So now for my final thoughts on the Darth Maul mech. Overall, this is actually a pretty good mech set, and pretty much the second best. Since the Luke Skywalker X-wing mech is still the best Lego Star Wars mech because it's just so damn good. And for the Darth Maul mech, it's pretty good, and despite the some like the flaws, like the Darth Maul minifigure didn't have any pupils, which same thing that when it's like when this minifigure like appeared in the from last year's set, the Sith infiltrator, and you can like do some crazy spinning on the Mech's double bladed lightsaber weapon, which felt like a missed opportunity to do some pretty crazy tricks with it, or technique. And while the pros outweighs the cons, like the look of the mech, and the minifigure is pretty good despite the lack of pupils on on it, and also like in some interesting pieces like this printed tile, and the and I think like let me see, like some of the pieces are I think this is like the only exclusive piece for this set, and I think it's yeah, it's I think it's the only unique piece for this set, and yeah, like it's pretty fun, like poses this mech, like the like the one from the in the box, which is like that, which is looks really awesome, but when you pose it, so yeah. And also the the Sith probe droid is pretty adorable despite it's rather intimidating in the movies, so yeah. And also the the robotic look for the mechs actually kind of makes sense why they actually give Darth Maul a mech, because he's like has robotic legs, because he lost his original legs and he has to get new legs, which are these robotic legs. So yeah. And for the ranking on this mech set, I'll just give it a pretty good 8 out of 10, since it's a pretty good mech set, which is felt like just like the Luke Skywalker X-wing mech is a huge step up to the other mech set that came out like back in 2 years ago, which is 2023. Like by the more desirable minifigure, the the look of the mech and such, and the fun poses you can do with the mech, and yeah. So all right, so I just hope you guys enjoy my review on the Lego Star Wars set Darth Maul mech. So like and comment this video and subscribe for more content. So this is Mr. Freddy here, and I hope you have a very good day. So bye.